But even with that, doing the mundane, what is then Bob Knakал's burning desire? Like, what has gotten you and to keep on moving the ball forward in your business for so long? And like that deep rooted why that you have, like, it seems so connected and aligned. But what does that look like? And what can you share with other agents that are listening to this right now about that?
Yeah, well, you know what? And I get asked that quite a bit because when we sold the business in 2014 to Cushman and Wakefield for 100 million bucks, we
Mhm.
had no debt on the company. It was a life-changing thing for me. And people say, Bob, what the heck are you still doing this for? And I have to tell you,
Mhm.
I absolutely love this business. I think it's the greatest business in the world. And today, when they talk about kids on their cell phones, they say, oh, well, kids are getting addicted because there's this dopamine rush you get from the feedback you get and
Mhm.
everything. And I tell you, I think I'm addicted to winning. And the brokerage business provides so many opportunities to win. Think about the course of just one deal. You find out the owner wants to sell, you get the rush because it's 1 out of 20. So, yeah, you get the rush. And then you go pitch the business and you find out you won the pitch. That's a dopamine rush. And then you're marketing the property and you get a meeting of the minds on the price and the terms. That's a rush. And then you sign the contract. That's a rush. And then you close the deal. That's a rush. So there are all these opportunities to win. And that's something that I just think is so great. And I truly just love the business. And I think that when it comes to cold calling, and prospecting calls, and it's only cold calling for the first couple of years, because if you have a set data base of 1,200 people that you're going to be going after, your first few rounds of calls are cold, but then after a while, they all become prospecting calls, not cold calls, as people know you. But you want to call and offer them something of value. And that's where the value of proprietary information comes in, knowing your market, knowing the statistics, being able to say, hey, in the past 2 months, X number of properties have sold, and this was the average price, and that was up or down X% from what it was, year over year. Being able to do that, you're calling, giving something, sharing something of value. And share is probably the most important word in calling people, is you want to have something of value to share with them and say, hey, I'd like to share this with you. That's a very positive word, very benign word. You're not asking them for anything. Of course, the goal of every call is, I want to meet with you and I want to know if you want to sell. But if you call up and say, hey, do you want to sell your property? Boom, you're going to get hung up on 90% of the time. So you call up and say, hey, I'm an expert selling properties like yours in the neighborhood. I just put a market report together that goes over everything you possibly could want to know about the marketplace, and I would love to share that with you. Would you like me to send it to you? And most of the time, people are going to say, yeah, send it over. And then you get in, have a conversation. How long have you owned your property? Blah, blah, blah. And then you get, oh, by the way, anything you want to sell, and then you kind of back into it. And it's a much more benign approach to finding out what you really want to find out.